customer states my mechanic told me my truck needs a new computer. Oh boy. I just bought this 2500 HD pickup truck. The previous owner put an alternator and a battery in it, and it's still not charging. Their mechanic told them that it needs a whole new computer. And if you're an auto tech, that should raise big red flags for you. It's like a meme that if somebody recommends a computer, get a second opinion. So let's diagnose what the problem is. Here at the battery, I've got 12 volts. Side note, a battery should be 13.7 volts with all the cells properly charged. I just drove this 30 minutes, which is why it drew down to 12. Now, if we trace the battery cable back to the alternator, we'll see that there's this connection that comes off the alternator into this junction point and then goes to the battery. So there should be a pretty direct path from the battery to the alternator, meaning we should have 12 volts at the alternator. But we don't. We've got nothing. Nada. Which tells me that we could have a bad battery cable, but I'm going to bet our problem is in that junction point right there and this little fusible link. Pop this open, disconnect the battery, then we'll loosen up that stud there, which doesn't look like it's been loosened any time recently. And when I pull the main battery cable away from that jumper point, it's melted into the plastic. This fusible link is basically a fuse in the system. If something goes wrong, that's supposed to pop, burn up, and protect the entire system. But instead, it looks like it overheated and melted into the plastic of this housing, which is insulating the connection, not allowing the alternator to send power to the battery. Now I'm going to scrape and cut this free and wiggle it out of there. And now I'm going to check resistance from this end of this cable to this end, which with my multimeter set to ohms is 0, which means this cable is good. Might not be under a load, but that's a different story. But look at all that crud in there now. I'm going to clean up all these connections, put it together, and recheck. And now with the ground hooked back up to the battery, here at the alternator, I am getting 12 volts from just a couple of minutes of sandpapering these connections. Let's fire it up and check if it's charging now. Boom, over 14 volts. 14 volts here at the battery. And their mechanic diagnosed a ECM that would have cost them hundreds of dollars, had to be programmed, and still would not have fixed that problem. But now I've got a pickup truck. The person was moving. They wanted to get rid of the thing anyway. I didn't take advantage of them or anything, but because I have the skill to diagnose a problem and their mechanic didn't,